The VA loan is a zero down loan, but it's not a $0 loan. And the space between those two things is exactly where veterans get blindsided at the closing table. Today, I'm giving you 7 things about VA loan closing costs in under 5 minutes, so that way you never sit at the closing table surprised. Number 1, closing costs and down payment are 2 different things. Zero down means that the VA does not require a down. However, it says nothing about your closing costs. Plan on roughly 1 to 3% of your loan amount in costs before you ever even add in the funding fee. On a $300,000 loan, that's real money. It's not pocket change. Number 2 is that your lender is capped at a 1% origination charge. They can either charge you a flat 1% fee or they can itemize their fees, but they don't get to do both. So if you see a flat origination fee and a stack of lender junk fees on the same estimate, somebody's trying to double dip. Number 3, non-allowable fees exist and they're your friend. On a VA loan, there's a list of fees that the veteran is simply not allowed to pay when the lender charges that flat 1% fee. And these are things like the lender's attorney fees, the escrow or settlement fees, the loan application fees, or even the document prep and underwriting fees. Somebody else is going to be responsible for paying those, whether it's the lender, the seller, or the agent. Either way, it's not going to be you. And we're doing a full video on non-allowables later in the masterclass, so hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Number 4, the funding fee is the biggest closing cost on this sheet. First time use with no down payment is typically about 2.15% of the loan amount, but here's what a lot of people miss. Number 1, it drops if you put money down. Number 2 is it can be rolled into the loan instead of being paid out in cash at closing. And number 3 is it can be waived entirely if you have a VA disability rating of 10% or more, receive a Purple Heart, or are an eligible surviving spouse. And if that waiver applies to you, that's thousands of dollars that stays in your pocket. Number 5, the seller can pay your closing costs, all of them. VA rules let the seller cover every standard closing costs, and on top of that, they can also give you up to 4% of the home's value in concessions for things like paying your funding fee, prepaid taxes and insurance, or even paying off some of your existing debt to help you qualify for the new mortgage. Big banks won't bring that up because it makes their job a bit harder, but I bring it up because it makes your deal better. Number 6, lender credits are a lever, not a gift. A lender can cover some or all of your closing costs in exchange for a slightly higher interest rate. Now, sometimes that trade-off may make sense, especially if you're short on cash or don't plan to keep the loan long. However, sometimes it's expensive money in a nice costume. Make sure you're running the math before you say yes to this. And number 7 is the termite inspection rule changed, and half of the internet didn't get the memo. For a very long time, veterans were not allowed to pay for the pest inspection in most states. However, back in 2022, that rule changed, and veterans can now pay for it nationwide. So, if a lender, an agent, or a guy in a comment section tells you it's still forbidden, they're quoting a rule book that's been retired longer than some of the privates I've served with have been in uniform. So, quick recap of today's video. Costs are separate from down payment. The origination fee is capped. Non-allowable fees protect you on a VA loan. The funding fee is the big one, and it might be waived. The seller can pay everything. Lender credits are a trade-off, and yes, you can pay for the termite guy now. Which one of these 7 surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments because I read all of them. I'm William Ware, the Loan Caddy. Play smart, and I'll see you on the next tee.